It was a cold December morning. Snow had blanketed Manhattan streets in a thin layer of white. Donald Trump, fixing his red tie, was striding along the sidewalk with purpose. Today, he was stepping out for a special meeting, but instead of taking his usual ride, he decided to walk. The biting cold didn't seem to faze him, and his security team kept a close watch as he moved through the bustling city. Then, his eyes caught something unusual. An elderly woman sitting by the corner with a tiny stand of handmade dolls. She was wrapped in an old blanket, and beside her was a handwritten cardboard sign, "Selling dolls to pay for my granddaughter's treatment." Trump stopped in his tracks. His security detail exchanged glances, unsure of what he might do next. He walked toward the woman. Trump stood there, staring at the little handmade doll in his hand. The thought crossed his mind. Why is this woman in such a state? How did she end up here, in the cold, trying to survive? Could I help her? Could I make a difference? These questions lingered as he held the doll tighter, feeling the weight of her struggle in that simple, fragile creation.
Ma'am, what's your name?
He asked. The woman looked up, startled.
Martha.
She said softly.
You make these yourself?
Trump asked, gesturing to the dolls on the table.
Yes, sir. I'm raising money for my granddaughter Amy's cancer treatment. Insurance doesn't cover everything.
She explained, her voice trembling. Trump was quiet for a moment, his face serious but thoughtful. He took a deep breath and pulled out his phone. Trump called his assistant without hesitation.
Find me the best children's oncology hospital nearby. Make sure they're ready to take on a new patient. Tell them we'll cover all expenses.
Turning back to Martha, he said,
You and your granddaughter aren't alone in this anymore. We'll make sure Amy gets the best care.
Martha stared at him, disbelief written all over her face.
But why? You don't even know me.
She whispered, her eyes welling up. Trump looked her in the eye and said,
Sometimes, a little help can change everything. Every child deserves a chance to grow up with hope.
The old woman carefully opened the envelope, her hands trembling just a little. Her heart was heavy, filled with worry about her granddaughter. Will she ever get better? Can I give her the life she deserves? She thought, her mind racing. That man in the red tie crossed her mind again. Is he really gonna help? Or was it all just talk? She didn't know, but hope and fear were wrestling inside her. She started reading the letter, but her thoughts kept drifting back to her granddaughter. Part of her was scared, but deep down, a tiny flicker of hope wouldn't let go. Maybe, just maybe, things will finally change, she whispered to herself. The house was quiet, but her mind was loud, filled with questions and prayers. No matter what, she wasn't about to give up hope, not for her granddaughter. The old woman couldn't believe her eyes as she read the letter. It had all the details about a doctor who could help her granddaughter. The very next morning, they rushed to the address. The doctor greeted them warmly and assured them the surgery would be done for free. He even promised that Amy would receive years of follow-up care at no cost. After all the hardship they had endured, it felt like a moment of hope and gratitude they would never forget. The house was quiet, but her mind was loud, filled with questions and prayers. No matter what, she wasn't about to give up hope, not for her granddaughter. Trump had organized an event to honor Martha and Amy's story. The event was attended by veterans, families, and other guests. Taking the stage, Trump addressed the crowd.
This isn't just about helping one family. It's a reminder that as a community, we have a responsibility to lift each other up. Every child deserves the chance to dream and thrive.
He called Amy onto the stage and handed her a golden doll, a symbol of her story and the future hope for other families. Trump then turned to the audience.
Martha and Amy's story is proof that even the smallest acts of kindness can lead to the greatest outcomes. But what makes this story even more special is the sacrifice Amy's father made for this country. He gave his life fighting for all of us, but his dream lives on here, through Amy's recovery.
Trump turned to Martha and Amy and continued his speech.
Today we are here to show our gratitude to this family. This country never forgets sacrifice.
As the applause filled the conference room, Martha couldn't hold back her tears. In Amy's eyes, for the first time, there was a glimmer of hope for the future. In that moment, it wasn't just about healing, it was the revival of a dream. And at the end of the event, Trump handed Martha an envelope. "This is for you," he said, with a gentle smile. Inside was a check large enough to ensure she'd never have to worry about money again. "Your granddaughter's future is safe now," he said.
Do you think even the smallest act of kindness can change a life? Share your thoughts in the comments.